Hello, everyone. Happy Saturday morning, or if you're in Budapest, happy Saturday night. That's Botond. I'm Grant Cohn. We're going to be talking about the Niners for about the next 35, 45 minutes, whatever we got. We don't have that many topics today. We want to talk about the last game, the upcoming game, and we're going to play a game. But any question you guys got, feel free to interrupt us, and we'll take them. Botond, I haven't talked to you since the Niners lost. So, what did you – were you like just sitting there like, yep, exactly what I thought was going to happen?
Hey, everyone. As usual, glad to be here. Hope everything is all right in the USA right now with this COVID situation. Well, I should say that I said that, but I said that, so nothing really surprising against the Bills.
Right.
The only thing that surprised me was how bad Tarvarius Moore was.
Oof,
that
yeah.
was
Yep.
That was a big surprise for me. But besides of that, nothing else. Just some mental breakdowns as usual for me.
You know what actually surprised me was how non-existent the pass rush was. I mean, we know it's not great. Yep. Kerry Hyder's been playing pretty well, but I think we kind of expect one of these days Eric Armstead's going to have a great game, or one of these days Javon Kinlaw is just going to take over, and it's not happening. Josh Allen is not that good. He's good, but he's not that good. He was never under pressure at all. It's what it seemed to me. And meanwhile, when they would even come close to getting pressure, they would just let him out of the pocket, and then he'd be even in a better situation. So I don't know. I mean, they did such a good job against Breeze and Jared Goff, but when it was actually time to rush a mobile quarterback, they were clueless. They couldn't do anything. So
I must say that right now, I think that Josh Allen is way better than Drew Brees or Jared Goff.
I agree.
Jared Goff, there are so many levels between them. And I think that Jared Goff is the end of that level. He's amongst the worst QBs right now in the NFL as a starter. So that's why I wasn't so surprised with that. Although I was like, Saleh will find out something, but it didn't happen. So yeah. The other thing that surprised me that how ineffective Richard Sherman was.
Yeah,
I think that we talked about that he affects the team. He is like a ball hawk. Okay, there wasn't so many balls in his direction, but he still wasn't good.
Nope.
He still wasn't good, and he played like he knows that he won't be here next season, and that's a problem because his lack of competitiveness is hurt the team. So
yeah, I think he's in the point right now where he's content to kind of hang out in his zone and say that was your fault. That was your fault. When he gave up that touchdown catch to Cole Beasley, he just retreated into the end zone in man-to-man coverage and gave up the touchdown. That was a 7-point mistake on his part. Yeah, Richard Sherman, leave. That's the thing. If they could bench Richard Sherman and Tavarius Moore right now, I'm sure they would. But Emmanuel Mosley hurt his hamstring. I wouldn't expect to see him back this season. That's a serious injury for any position, let alone a corner who has to run. So Sherman has to play, Moore has to play, but those guys aren't going to be starters on this team next year. I mean, Moore cannot start at safety in the NFL if he keeps making these mistakes.
Yep, that's for sure. And the other thing with Sherman, what I would like to say is that I think there's something what we cannot see right now in the 49ers, because Sherman was really motivated when he got here, although he was a player for the Seattle Seahawks, and right now it seems like he doesn't have that motivation anymore. And although John Lynch said that it's not how Sherman says it is with departing with the team, but come on, man, if Richard Sherman got a problem, he will speak sometime.
Yep.
Actually, I wait for that speech. So I want to hear what Richard Sherman wants to say about the 49ers right now.
Oh, it's coming. If he doesn't say it while he's on the team, he'll say it immediately when he leaves.
Yeah.
I cannot wait. That's going to be great.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on to the game coming up tomorrow. What do you expect to see? Is this another one where you're like, oh, it's not like Alex Smith is as good as Josh Allen?
Nope, he's not. But actually, I'm rooting for Alex Smith right now. So I'm a big fan of Alex Smith right now. I want him to be successful for the rest of his career because, man, that guy is gone through so many things
Yes.
throughout his career, and what he did was always he proved himself that he is a reliable starter. He will never be Peyton Manning or genius like that, but he is a decent quarterback. And right now, well, I can't decide. I want to cheer for the 49ers because I'm a diehard fan. Your viewers also know that because last time when I was in your live and I donated you 1,000 forints, which made you.
How much money is that?
It's about $3.
Thank you so much, man. That was generous. I appreciate it. That was
well.
Nice. I was like, wow.
That's because. yeah that was funny because I wanted to see your reaction. I thought that you would think that it's $1,000, so
I did. I was like, man, you know what, I retired. It's been good covering the Niners. I'm gonna go invest. I'm gonna go invest in the stock market anyway. So I mean, you think the Niners gonna lose?
One more time, please.
You think the Niners gonna lose? You think the Niners gonna lose?
I don't think that we will lose. I don't think right now, honestly, I don't think that we will lose, but I wouldn't be surprised if we are going to lose the game. Hopefully we will win.
Go ahead. The thing about Washington is like they remind me of kind of like the Harbaugh Niners with Alex Smith in the sense that they're not going to beat themselves, which is kind of a novel concept because in football, a lot, even in the NFL, teams beat themselves all the time. The Niners beat themselves with turnovers and mistakes. And that's just what they won't do that. They'll be conservative. Their defense will play well. They won't commit a bunch of turnovers. They'll possess the ball. So the Niners are going to have to like win this game. They're not going to, it's not going to be that they can kind of just hold serve and let Washington blow it. So Nick Mullens has done some really nice things, but he keeps turning the ball over. So it's going to be a big test for him and probably the biggest game of his life. There is serious stakes in this game. And I think the two of us think that Nick Mullens is better than Jimmy. And I think that Kyle Shanahan deep down thinks that Nick Mullens is better than Jimmy. But Jimmy's played in big games. And Nick really hasn't yet. This is the biggest one he's had. I'm curious to see how he performs because it's going to be hard. He's going up against kind of like the Niners defense from last season, a ferocious defensive line that comes in waves with depth and then 7-man zone coverages behind it. It's going to be tough. It's going to be real tough. Expect a low-scoring game.
Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah, that's what I think right now. And the other thing is that I've always defended Nick Mullens since he's got the starter of the 49ers. But right now, if he cannot prove himself against Washington, I don't think that he will be a reliable starter in the NFL in the future. And I think that is his goal. He said that before, that he wants to be a starter in the NFL. But if he cannot prove himself in the last 4 games of this season, I don't think there's a way for him to be a starter in the NFL, because we said before that he lacks of experience and just give him time. But time is up. You have to prove himself.
Well, I actually expect him to play pretty well the next 3 weeks because Dallas has no defense. Arizona's defense isn't that great, and Seattle has no defense. This is a real tough matchup. It's a lot like what he faced week 4 against Philly. It's that kind of D-line. And so that dominated Mullens the first time. Now, in fairness, he got sacked 5 times. He got hit 15 times. Quarterbacks are going to struggle. But I think since then he's become better at escaping the pocket and scrambling. He's going to need to.
Yeah.
He's going to need to in this game.
If
he stands in that pocket, he's going to get hit 15 times. So
what surprised me with Nick Mullens was he's like a scrambler QB right now, and that's a good thing. That's improvement. That's something that we haven't shown when we watched Jimmy play football in the past few years, because after that ACL injury, he wasn't like a scrambler-ish style QB that he was when he got here. So,
and I think you've got to be able to scramble unless you're Peyton Manning or Tom Brady. And there's just only 2 of those guys, and they're not there anymore. You got to scramble. To see that Nick Mullens is doing it, I think is a really good sign, at least for his development, because he's not going to make it as Drew Brees, standing in the pocket, not moving. He won't. No one will. You got to add that to your game, and I think he can do it. So And you know, like I often compare Nick Mullens in my mind to Ryan Fitzpatrick. Really smart guy, fringe starter, has gotten the opportunity to start in a lot of teams and has stuck around the league forever. Ryan Fitzpatrick scrambles. He is not just hanging out in the pocket trying to be someone he's not. So I think Nick Mullens can look at him and be like, I'm as fast as Ryan Fitzpatrick. It's not about being super fast. It's about just taking the openings when they're there. There's a lot of times when the pocket will open up, Nick Mullens will escape. And instead of like running for 3 yards, he'll throw across the field to Jeff Wilson Jr. and get intercepted. It's like, just take the 3 yards. You know, that's what Joe Montana would do. So anyway, all right, let's play our this is the game I want to play. The game was in high school, your guidance counselor would say to you, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And you were 16. It is an impossible question. So let's answer this question for others on the 49ers, starting with Jimmy Garoppolo. Botond, where do you see Jimmy Garoppolo in 5 years?
Well, after this season, I wouldn't be surprised if he will sign with the New England Patriots. I wouldn't be surprised if they are going to give a 4th or a 5th round pick for the 49ers because nobody will give anything else to the 49ers for Jimmy Garoppolo right now. Mm-hmm. And after 5 years, I think he will retire with Bill Belichick in the 4th or the 5th year because, and that's sad in somehow, but that should be true because he's so injury prone. He lacks of that toughness that you should have as a constant NFL starting quarterback. So that's where I see right now. Maybe he will be a contender with the Patriots again in the next 5 years, but we will see. That's something. So if we are talking about 49ers players and coaches right now, the man who makes me so unsure about my decision is Jimmy Garoppolo because it depends on the injuries that he will get in the next few years. But what I think of is he was signed with the New England Patriots. Maybe he will be great again with Bill Belichick, but after 5 years, I think he will retire.
I think I agree. I think in 5 years he'll be out of the NFL. Not because he's not good enough, but because of the injuries. I think he's going to go back to New England. I agree. And I think he's going to get another chance to start. And New England does a good job of protecting. Well, they did a good job of protecting Tom Brady. Or maybe Tom Brady did a good job of protecting Tom Brady. Hard to say because Cam Newton's getting beaten into oblivion over there. I think he's going to go back to New England, maybe sit for a while, get another chance to start, probably get hurt again because I don't think he can protect himself on a football field anymore. And I think he knows it. I think he's real slow-footed now. He's not a scrambler. He's not elusive in the pocket. He's a sitting duck. And he doesn't seem to really no one likes the hits, but he seems to really not like them. He took like 12 hits this year and got hurt twice. Nick Mullens takes about 10 hits a game. So yeah, I have to say that it's looking like he's trending to be the Mr. Glass of quarterbacks and that he's going to be out. He's going to be, he'll have $60 million, $80 million, and then he'll be, 31 and say, what am I doing this? I'm hurt again. I don't want to do it anymore. He might go Andrew Luck route. That's what I think. All right. And don't get mad at us guys. We're just guessing. We're projecting 5 years down the line and we'll get to ourselves at the end too. We're just having fun. Having a little fun, ending Jimmy Garoppolo's career prematurely, theoretically. Sorry. Okay. Where will Nick Mullens be 5 years from now? He's 25 now. He'll be 30 then.
Well, that's a more interesting and easy one because what I think of is, as I said before, the next 4 games will decide the future of Nick Mullens in the NFL. He is still very young and he's talented as well. I think that if he plays well in the next 4 games, he will be a starting quarterback in the NFL, but not for the 49ers. And that's mainly because of the tons of hate the team will get if they promote Nick Mullens into a starting caliber quarterback. Most of the 49ers fans just cannot understand why we say that Jimmy is not the answer for the 49ers in the future. And they are mad at Nick Mullens because other 49ers fans think that Nick Mullens is a better option than Jimmy Garoppolo. And on the other hand, I think that Kyle Shanahan will choose to to get a new start with a rookie quarterback to prove himself that he can develop rookie quarterbacks into NFL starting caliber quarterbacks. And what I think of right now is that Nick Mullens can be a starter, for example, for the Chicago Bears right now, because he is better than Mitch Trubisky for sure, and he is good enough to be there. There's a quite good team. Maybe with him they can be better.
That's interesting. I was thinking more along like the lines of the Kyle Shanahan disciples. Like people running his system would look at Mullens and be like, well, look at how he runs Kyle's system. He can run my system. But you know, that dink and dunk Andy Reid RPO system from the shotgun, he could do that too. That's an interesting thought.
Yep.
The Bears quarterback. I agree with you. I think Jimmy's going to get traded this offseason. I think the Niners are going to draft a quarterback, and he's going to have a tough time beating out Nick Mullens. It's a complex offense. There's a lot to learn, and Nick Mullens knows it pretty well, and he's pretty good. So I wouldn't be surprised if Nick Mullens is like the Ryan Fitzpatrick of the Niners next year, and they have some Tua Tagovailoa type on the bench learning the system who will take over eventually, and that'll kind of be Nick Mullens' career. He'll be the guy while the young guy is learning, and then he'll get replaced, and then he'll go to a new team, and then he'll be the guy, and then they'll draft the guy, and I think he'll bounce around, but I think eventually he may just beat out some rookie guy, and some coach says, you know, let's stick with him. And the kind of coach that I think that would eventually like Nick Mullens is John Gruden. You know, John Gruden had his success in the 90s with Rich Gannon, who was a career backup, who's hanging around the league, but gritty, tough in a lot of the ways that Nick Mullens is. And I think that's kind of John Gruden's personality anyway. John Gruden and Kyle Shanahan are very similar. They're very they're detail oriented. They'll nitpick their quarterbacks, and Nick Mullens can take it. He's good at that stuff. He's detail oriented too. And plus, John Gruden's offense is a bunch of 5-yard passes. They actually would have to throw the ball downfield more because Nick likes to throw the ball downfield. So I wouldn't be surprised if in 5 years, Nick Mullens is the starting quarterback for the Las Vegas Raiders or the LA Rams. I mean, one of those two teams is going to move on from one of their expensive quarterbacks eventually, whether it be Carr and the Raiders or Goff and the Rams. And I could see Gruden or McVay being like, man, that kid in Santa Clara can do all the stuff I want Goff to do for way cheaper, and just bring him in, and then you also draft a guy, and then he just beats the guy out. I think eventually he may get to that point. So I'm saying the Raiders in 2025, Nick Mullens.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Sounds fair. Sounds fair.
Richard Sherman. Where's Richard Sherman going to be in 5 years?
Well, what I think of Richard Sherman is that he's a really, really great player, but he is a really smart guy. Trent Taylor.
We're going to get to Trent Taylor. We're going to get to Trent Taylor next. Richard Sherman, though. Yeah.
So Richard Sherman is a smart guy, and when he will realize that he is not that good player anymore, when he realizes that he can't play football on the level that he played before, I think that he will retire. And that's why I say that Richard Sherman will retire in 5 years, and after that, I wouldn't be surprised if he is going to be a defensive coordinator.
That's what I would say. I think a lot of people expect him to be like Skip Bayless or a media guy. I think he's way too serious. I don't think he has enough. I think he's going to be a coach like Pete Carroll or Jim Harbaugh. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that is the future of Richard Sherman that I think of, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's going to be the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks in 10 years.
Oh, that's interesting. You know, I if it hadn't been so acrimonious between him and Pete Carroll at the end, I'd say that he'd go back as soon as he retires to be like their DB coach. Yep. Because Pete Carroll has had he promoted Ken Norton Jr. It's like he wants to promote former players that would play defense for him. And Richard Sherman, I don't know where he's going to go. It could be with I got it right now. He's going to go with Saleh, and he's going to be one of Saleh's coaches.
Yeah.
Going to go with Saleh. He's not going to play for Saleh, but he's going to be one of Saleh's coaches. He'll be the DB coach at first. He'll work his way up to defensive coordinator. And I do think, maybe not in 5 years, but eventually he has that type of personality to be a head coach. He's got kind of like a Mike Tomlin personality. He could be Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, that sounds great. I think that's a good idea. I hope that we will talk about Robert Saleh as well, because I've got some good predictions for him as well.
I will get into the coaches. But first, let's do Trent Taylor. Where will Trent Taylor be in 5 years?
I think that he will be a coach of a PV football team in the.
That's pretty good. I like that. I say he's going to be a model for like Abercrombie and Fitch or Hollister. You'll like walk into Abercrombie and Fitch and they'll have that really loud, not that I've shopped there, but they'll have that really loud techno music, and you'll see like the 20-foot freaking picture of like him on the sand, like like just like drawing circles in the sand with his little mustache. That's gonna be Trent Taylor.
Or he can be the official mascot of George Kittle.
Oh, yeah, no, he can't be Kittle's like agent, but he could be like the driver. He could like pick George Kittle up from games. He could drive him off. He could pack his lunch. Write a little note in. Hey, play well today. Thinking of you.
He can be an official fan as well.
The way you like it. Yeah. He's definitely going to be in the George Kittle entourage. The question is, will he still be allowed into 49ers games, or does he have to buy a ticket like everyone else? Maybe Kittle will give him tickets and he can sit in stands.
I'm pretty sure that George Kittle will buy him tickets. I wouldn't be surprised if George Kittle will adopt him in the next 5 years.
Here's the question, though. Will the 49ers retire Trent Taylor's number? 15. I mean, because I can't think of anyone else. When I think of the red one, the red 5 on the white, it's Trent Taylor. How could anyone else wear that? I don't know. So hopefully he's in the Ring of Honor in 5 years is the answer.
Yeah. That's my hope as well.
Yeah. Okay. Good question. All right. Let's move on. Trent Taylor is done, but that's not breaking news. AJE806TX is not feeling the
Trent Taylor vibe.
He's not feeling it. All right. Where will Jalen Hurd be 5 years from now?
You know what? When we got him in the draft in the same year that we got Deebo Samuel last year. Yeah, last year. We signed Jalen Hurd. I was like, okay, he's going to be a great player for the 49ers because he's such a great mismatch for any teams. I was like that last year when he got injured. I was pretty sure that we are doing stuff with Deebo Samuel that we would do with Jalen Hurd, with all the all-rounds and jet sweeps and other things like that. I was like, okay, those plays were drove for Jalen Hurd to do. I think that he is a talented guy. He can be a mismatch for any team for any player, any defensive player in the NFL. But the problem is that all the things that he proved in the past 2 years that he is more injury prone than Jimmy Garoppolo is.
Yeah.
So I have high hopes when I am talking about Jalen Hurd, but maybe he can be a successful starter for the 49ers. Maybe he can be a great tight end or slot receiver for the 49ers, but I can't say that for sure. I'm not sure that he will be in the league in 5 years.
I know. To me, his body's breaking down. He's having non-contact injuries. The ACL just busted on him when he was warming up on a side field. He hasn't even gotten back. So if he can stay healthy, I think he'll be an integral part of the offense. The way I saw him as a rookie was he was much more impressive than Deebo Samuel in training camp. And Deebo was good.
Yep.
But Jalen Hurd was impressive. He's big. He's extremely physical. He plays like a running back because he used to be a running back. He blocks hard. He throws his head around. I don't know if his body will allow him to play the way he wants to play. But if he ever gets back and his knee heals and he makes the recovery that Jason Verrett made or Jerick McKinnon to a lesser extent, I think he would be like – I think Juszczyk's kind of on the way out. And what the Niners are going to be is they're going to have Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, a running back, and kind of like a fifth guy who could be a wild card. And I think he'll be the wild card, a guy who could line up in the slot, a guy who could line up as a second tight end, a guy who could line up at running back, at fullback, and just sort of be, I don't know what you would call him, a joker, a wild card. I think that could be him. And I think that he could be used in a lot of creative ways, and he could bring out the parts of Kyle Shanahan's creativity that even Debo doesn't bring out. So I don't know if his body will allow him, but it seems like the Niners do have actually some good luck of being very patient with injury guys and giving him 2 years, and then it working out. He may not be the guy they thought he'd be when they drafted him just because he's had these injuries, but he still could be good. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. You know, when we signed Kaius Czech, we called him here in Hungary as the X weapon of the 49ers.
I like that. I like that.
If Jalen Hurd can stay healthy next season and in the next couple of seasons, I think that he can be the new X weapon of the 49ers. So
yeah, I mean, the other thing you think about Hurd, like theoretically, if you had Hurd, Ayuk, Debo, Kittle, and Richie James on the field, you wouldn't need a running back. You could go empty, 4 wide receivers and a tight end, and you could motion any number of. You could motion Debo into the backfield. You could motion Hurd into the backfield. So you could create really interesting matchups. You could get the defense to be in like a dime formation, and then motion your 225-pound wide receiver into the backfield and run between the tackles. Yep. That I think was kind of the vision, you know. So I don't know if they'll be able to do it, but 5 years from now, I'm going to say Jalen Hurd is going to be on the 49ers. I think this is one of Kyle Shanahan's pet projects like Jerick McKinnon, and he's not going to let this fall apart. And I think Jalen Hurd, as long as he doesn't lose his taste for rehabilitation and football, he'll stick with it too, because he hasn't really made any money.
Yeah.
Or proven himself. Yeah.
That's
I'm saying Jalen Hurd is going to work out. He's coming back. And I base that on nothing.
Hope so. I really hope so that he is going to be a great part of the 49ers offense in the future.
Where will Mike McGlinchey be 5 years from now?
I think that they will build him into the grass of the Levi Stadium.
He'll just be flat. He'll just be like flat Looney Tunes on the ground. Yeah.
Maybe he's going to be a motivational trainer or something like that.
That's funny.
He is not going to be an NFL tackle for long. Nope.
I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure
that he'll be in the NFL.
Nope.
In 5 years. Wow.
Nope.
Wow. Yep.
Well, as other people mentioned before this week and before the other weeks this season, he is vegan right now, and if you are looking at the pictures,
is this confirmed? Has this been confirmed? Wow, that's not good.
And if you are looking at the pictures of him right now and the pictures from the last season, you can just see how much is the difference right now. Maybe we can say that he's that soft right now as an offensive tackle just because he lost a lot of his weight.
Light. Yeah, it seems to me that it's tough to be an offensive lineman. You got to be 300 pounds, 310 pounds, and that's not natural. You got to eat a lot, and sometimes maybe that's not even healthy. Maybe you end up being pre-diabetic for a while. I noticed that when offensive linemen like Joe Staley retire, they lose 60 pounds so freaking fast. And it's like they're so happy to not have to be 300 pounds. You look at Joe Staley, he looks like he weighs 220. He looks like the best he's ever looked in his entire life, and he's probably really happy about it. And when you start to see an offensive lineman start losing weight, it's like, dude, are you on the way out too? Because I'm sure once you get down to 275, it feels good. Your knees feel better. You know what I mean? You feel a little bit more energized. Dude, you got to get back up to 310. Can you do it? Do you want to do it?
Well, we talked about it before that being an offensive lineman in the NFL right now, they are not born, they are made. They are artificially produced sports machines in the offensive line.
That's true.
But back to Mike McGlinchey. I don't know if you remember when Colin Kaepernick became vegan. Do you remember that?
I do. Yes, I do.
Because if you are looking at the pictures of him when he became a vegan for the first season in the 49ers and the season before that, you can see the difference. Just like you can see the difference right now when you are looking at Mike McGlinchey. Colin just lost the same amount of weight that he had before. So that's a problem, I think. And if you are a pro NFL lineman, if you are getting money for being the guy who you were last season, if you are getting paid for developing yourself, you just cannot lose that much of weight at your position. That's why I think that, and mainly because of the mentality that Mike McGlinchey has right now, that's why I think that he will not be the part of the NFL in 5 years.
That's a fair prediction. I mean, if he's just having a down year, you could say he'll be a backup, he'll be a guard. But if he's really like losing weight and a vegan, he might be trending out of the league too. Because right now he can't stay upright. That's a good indicator of when a guy's kind of on the way out. Like most of the good athletes in the NFL can make it through a game kind of like on their feet without getting just thrown around like they're in like the wave pool or something. That's not him. He's on the ground a lot. All right, next guy. Where will Robert Saleh be 5 years from now?
I'm pretty sure that he's going to get a job as a head coach after this season. Mm-hmm. But in 5 years, I'm pretty sure as well that Pete Carroll will retire from the NFL. And I see Robert Saleh as a head coach of the Seattle Seahawks. But it hurts to say that. It hurts inside.
That is very interesting. That could happen. That could certainly happen. If they want to like carry on what the tradition that they have there, who better? Not Ken Norton. It would be him. But that's a ways away, and Pete Carroll doesn't seem like he's going anywhere. And that would be Saleh's second head coaching job, in my opinion, because I think he's going to get one this offseason. I think he's going to get – I'm going to make a bold prediction. I think he's going to Jacksonville. He's from Jackson. I mean, he coached in Jacksonville already. He knows that owner. They, in my opinion, are the best opening. If you have your pick, you go to Jacksonville because they have $80 million in cap space. They have 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round. I think they have 5 picks in the top 66. And they're a blank slate. So I think he's going to be in 5 years, he will be the head coach of Jacksonville. And I think they'll be one of the best teams in the AFC. They'll be like Seattle in the southeast. That's why I see it.
I wish the best for him because he's a so great coach. He just made a lot of things for this organization, for the 49ers in the past few years. He proved himself, even in the worst situations, that he is good. Mm-hmm. He never said that it's not his fault when we lost the game because of the defense. Right. And he is such a good person and such a good motivating coach that I am pretty sure that he will be successful as a head coach as well.
Yeah, I compare him to Tony Dungy. I think he has that level of dignity and basically dignity and positivity. There's something very dignified about Tony Dungy. I don't know what it is. He's almost like the president of the country. He's like Barack Obama before Barack Obama. He's just nothing but class and respect, yet tough. Players respect him. Everyone respects him. Everyone respects Robert Saleh. No one's ever said anything bad about Robert Saleh. He's smart. Yep. He's worldly. Yeah, he's going to be a terrific head coach, and I'm guessing Jacksonville. Let's move on. Where will Kyle Shanahan be 5 years from now?
Well, I think that is a fair question. I think that he will still be the 49ers head coach. If we are talking about tendencies, I'm pretty sure that in 2 years he will be in the Super Bowl again when we are going to
2022, right? Every 3 years. Yeah.
And where we are going to compete, and it is going to seems like that we can win the game until the fourth quarter when Kyle Shanahan just throws the game away again. After that, 2 years. In 5 years, I think that he will be on a hot seat, but no problem, because in the sixth he will make into the Super Bowl again. Just to say that the plays were there.
Yeah.
Players were there.
I 100% agree with you. Hey, the guys were open. Plays were there. You know?
Yeah.
No, I think he'll be here too.
Yeah.
I think the Yorks like him. I think they feel that he gives them credibility, that he somehow falls in the West Coast offense tradition, even though he doesn't. Just the fact that there's a tie to the past with Mike Shanahan, I think they like that. I think they were very aware of the reputation they had when they were firing coaches every year, and they want to not be that. And I guess Kyle is always good enough to keep himself employed. Like if he's ever on the hot seat, he can put together a hell of a year. It's just that he seems to lose interest right in the second half of the Super Bowl. He's like, you know what? I'll get him next year. You know what? That's the thing. No, I think he'll be here still. I don't know if he'll have a winning record. I think he's going to stay here a long time the way Mike stayed in Denver a long time. I don't know if it's going to work out and he'll get a Super Bowl, but I think he's going to be here. I mean, he's signed through 2025. He might get another extension in a few years. Wait till he goes to the Super Bowl in 2 years, like you said. We signed through for life. Yeah, they're just waiting to give him a lifetime contract, basically.
Yeah, but he will get it. He will get it. I'm sure that he will get it.
God forbid if he wins the Super Bowl, his son will probably get a lifetime contract to be the succeeding coach. It'll just become the royal family. I'm watching The Crown. Have you seen The Crown? It's about
nope.
Anyway, it's about the British monarchy. It's riveting stuff. All right. Where will John Lynch be 5 years from now? John Lynch.
There's one thing that I'm pretty sure about the 49ers right now, that if we are going to fire somebody from the GM or the head coach seat, we will fire the GM first.
Yep.
So I think that if they are going to have a winning season in the next 3 years, then John Lynch will still be there as a GM for the 49ers. I pretty like him. The thing that I don't like about these 49ers right now, if I am talking about the GM as a position in the team, I will say that the drafts. So the thing that he has to improve in is the draft. Although he makes some fantastic things with the draft picks that he had. I mentioned before some weeks ago that I'm pretty sure that he has some private videos of every franchise's leading people, because I cannot find any other reason how can he just trade back every single year on the draft.
Yeah. Look, I think that John Lynch has a function with the 49ers and he's good at what he does. Is he a scout? No. I'm sure that every year he has to scout players. Adam Peters has to scout players. The position coaches have to scout players. And I'm guessing he's not that great at it. I'm just guessing. It's not what he's done. He has no background for it. Just because you played the sport at a high level doesn't mean you can scout it. So I'm sure that's a deficiency in his game. They knew that when they hired him. What he does is give the coaches who they want, as opposed to Trent Baalke, who said, I don't care about your system. I don't care what you think you need. I know better than you. And then you get Tank Carity on the Niners. It's like, oh, well, thanks a lot, Trent. You're a better scout, but so that's what John does. I think the Niners felt they needed that at a certain point, but you look what happened this offseason. Kyle Shanahan got a 6-year extension. John got a 5-year extension, which means Kyle got more powerful, a little bit more powerful. If they were here, now it's here for Kyle. And it's only going to get more and more like that. Kyle's going to slowly take over, and John Lynch is going to be gone in 5 years. I think he'll be back in the booth at Fox or Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football. He'll go back to making $5, $6, $7 million a year to call 16 games a year. It's a pretty nice job. That's what I think.
Yeah, and you know what? If Kyle Shanahan can win the Super Bowl in the next few years, I'm pretty sure that he will be a GM for the 49ers as well, not just a head coach. And that's just saying. Because Kyle Shanahan wants all the control in his hands. Yep. They are just like
the GM, the president. He'll take everything. And John is like, thank you very much. Kyle couldn't ask for this stuff when he was 37 coming in on his first job, but he just the way Mike did. I mean, slowly you take it all. Those guys are they're power hungry. Is that a bad thing? Not necessarily, but they are. And John, we can be friends. I'll send you a Christmas card, but I want your job. I didn't want to hire you in the first place. I had to hire you. If I could have made myself the president and GM and head coach at 37, I would have. They didn't let me. They thought it would have been a bad look. So you're here and you have no experience and you're not that good. So now we don't need you anymore. Thanks for everything you've done. Thanks. Here's a Christmas card. All right.
Yep.
Last one. We're doing a very good job of project. No, we have more than one. We got 3 more. Where will the Niners be 5 years from now? Santa Clara? Scottsdale?
Well, I'm pretty sure that they will stay in Santa Clara. But if Kyle Shanahan wants to move, they will move.
Yeah, that's true.
They will move. But back to being serious, I'm pretty sure that they will be in the playoffs in at least 2 years in the next 5. I'm pretty sure of that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I'm actually that's true. But I'm actually talking about the location. I mean, I think that it's getting real contentious between them and Santa Clara. It looks like you're not out here, but there's like an all-out war between the Niners and Santa Clara right now, it seems. I don't know. Like the Niners keep trying to like break their agreement. They try to keep extending the curfew. They keep trying to like take more land, and Santa Clara is like, you can't just do whatever you want. You have to work with us. I think Santa Clara feels that the Niners feel that they're a small town and the Niners can push their weight around in ways they couldn't in San Francisco. And Santa Clara is like, hold up. No, you can't do that here either. And I think Jed York's kind of losing it a little bit. And I wouldn't be surprised if what happened with the Raiders was there was no solution. They were unhappy in Oakland. All of a sudden, Vegas said, we'll build you a stadium. We'll pay for it. It was like an offer you can't refuse. If someone came to the Niners and say, we'll build you a stadium wherever, I think Jed York just might do it. If Youngstown, Ohio said, hey, we'll build you a freaking stadium. You can do whatever you want, as late of a curfew as you want. I think Jed just might do it. I don't trust him at all. He has no ties to the Bay Area. He's from Ohio.
That's possible, I think.
I'm looking at you, Jed. Out of the corner of my eye, just like this. Looking at you, Jed. Don't think I'm not looking. I think he would take him out. I think he hates Santa Clara. I think he would move that team to Austin, Texas. You see how Tesla's moving and all these little tech giants are moving to Austin, Texas? The Austin 49ers in 5 years. You heard it here first. The Austin 49ers. Jed, better not. Botond, hold on. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Well, that's a good one. First of all, I'm going to be a husband in 5 years, I'm pretty sure, because we engaged ourselves with my girlfriend in two years ago. So
nice. Congrats. A little late, but
hopefully I'm going. Hopefully I'm going to be a husband in 5 years. But besides of that, well, actually, it seems like that I got a job as an American football expert here in Hungary, and that's so cool. I'm glad for it. But what I want in 5 years is hopefully I will learn so much more English to be better at it. To don't say light again, or just when I talk with you, or just when nothing. Just when I talk with you. But if I want to be honest, it can be a dream for me. I think that's the greatest dream of my life, to be recognized as an European expert of American football in the US. That would be great, I think, and I work for it.
Definitely.
Maybe
that's where I see you in 5 years as well. I do.
Thank you. Or I hope that you will be GM at least for the 49ers in the next 5 years, and hopefully I can get your job now and be just a controlling person at the 49ers.
See, that's what I was trying to tell you, is you may think that you're going to be like a media guy in Budapest in 5 years, but really I'm going to be the general manager of the 49ers. So you are definitely going to be my West Coast area scout. So get to know Oregon, Reno, Pepperdine, all these places you're going to be scouting. San Diego. Yeah, and 5 years from now, I'm going to be the general manager of the 49ers. And all the mean things I've said about Jed York, he'll forgive me. He'll give me a really nice contract. And I'll be able to tell Kyle Shanahan what to do, because at this point, Kyle Shanahan's going to be struggling a little bit. He will have lost his 4th Super Bowl at this point. You know, he's going to still have some good talent on offense and some interesting ideas, but he's going to need me to come in and kind of tell him, you know, what to do. And I'll be ready to do it. Botond, you'll be more than ready to do it. And then everyone in the comment section will have a job on the 49ers as well. Denelson, you can be the offensive coordinator. Horatio, you can be the defensive line coach. And Mauricio, of course, you can be the trainer. So thank you guys all so much. I hope you guys are excited about your future in the 49ers organization. I'm going to make it all possible. You guys just have to subscribe to my YouTube channel and read all my stuff so that I keep progressing. So we're all going to work for the 49ers one day. That's what's happening. So Jimmy?
Yeah, hopefully. And I think that what I think of is in 20 years, maybe we can buy the 49ers from Jed York.
Why not? I think so. I think we make so much money, you know, doing this that in a few years we'll just buy him out. Let's put together a little us, Steve Young, Brent Jones. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, we'll own the team. That's the correct answer. We'll just own it. Move it back to San Francisco, where it should be.
Of course, where it belongs.
Where it belongs, yes. And then they'll play one game a year in Budapest just for fun. Just the way, you know, why not?
Sounds great. Great.
I like it. All right. You need to go have a nice time. I'm sure there's all the discotheques are popping tonight in Budapest. All the nightlife is really fun during the COVID pandemic. So have a great time with all your options.
My options are just staying at home, being with our dog and with my girlfriend. There's no problem with that. But of course, we are just a bit. How should I say that? We just don't like the situation right now because we just cannot do anything at night here in Budapest, and we are still young. We want to do some things. We want to be with our friends, but there's no possibility for that right now. So my best wishes for all the world who are suffering with that COVID situation right now. Hopefully we can get through it as fast as possible.
Hang tough. Vaccine's coming. Hang tough. All right, Botond. Same time, same place. Next week.
All right.
Take care.
Have a nice day. Take care.